Hey everyone, welcome back to Cogent English. Today I'm here with HSA English syllabus oriented class, module 4, Aristotle Poetics. As you know, this topic is really wide, this essay is really wide, and I tried my level best to include all the major terms which Aristotle used in this essay. So definitely you can expect one or two, three questions, from the same essay. So I included all the important terms Aristotle used in this essay. So let's get started.
Aristotle's Poetics. Aristotle, responsible for the first systematic work of literary criticism. Aristotle is the founder of literary criticism. Dante called him the master of those who know. Differences between Aristotle and Plato. Plato considered imitation merely as mimicry or a servile copy of nature. Aristotle interpreted it as a creative process. Plato compared poetry to painting, whereas Aristotle compared it to a music. According to Plato, poetry presents a copy of nature as it is. Poetry, twice removed from reality, it's a shadow of shadows. Whereas Aristotle says poetry may imitate men as they are, or better and worse. Poetry gives us idealized version of reality. Plato takes up the cudgel on behalf of philosophy and shows that philosophy is superior to poetry. He takes up the cudgels on behalf of poetry and effectively brings out the superiority. So now let us go through the overall summary of poetics. He defines poetry as a means of mimesis or imitation by means of language, rhythm, and harmony. Once again, it's very important. Aristotle defines poetry as a mimesis or imitation. It's a very important question. The definition of mimesis or imitation. Definition of poetry as mimesis or imitation. Now let us come to the tragedy. Tragedy serves to arouse the emotions of pity and fear and to effect a catharsis of these emotions. 6 different parts of tragedy: mythos or plot, character, thought, diction, melody, and spectacle. First essential to creating a good tragedy is that it should maintain unity of plot. The first essential to creating a good tragedy is that it should maintain unity of a plot. The plot can also be enhanced by an intelligent use of peripecia, or reversal, and anagnorisis or recognition. So just take a note of this. A plot can also be enhanced by an intelligent use of peripecia or reversal and anagnorisis or recognition. The misery should be the result of some hamartia or error on the part of the hero. Aristotle discusses thought and diction, and they moves on to address epic poetry. After addressing some problems of criticism, Aristotle argues that tragedy is superior to epic poetry. Now let us discuss the important terms of Aristotle used in his essay. What is hamartia? It's very important, we can understand hamartia, and definitely we can expect many questions in connection with Aristotle, and we can expect some of the important questions in connection with Aristotle's poetics, and the important terms he used in his essay. Number one, hamartia. The word translates almost directly as error, though it is often rendered more elaborately as tragic flow, hamartia, meaning error, and it's just like tragic flow. Tragedy involves the downfall of a hero, affected by some error. This error could be a simple matter of not knowing something or forgetting something. So hamartia, once again, it's an error, and that error, revolves the downfall of a hero, or tragedy. Error means tragedy or whatever it is, that will affected by some error. This error could be a simple matter of not knowing something or forgetting something. Hamartia. Next one is next term Aristotle used in the poetry, anagnorisis, recognition or discovery. That moment when the hero or some other character passes from ignorance to knowledge. This could be a recognition of long lost friend or family member, or it could be a sudden recognition of some fact about oneself. Oh, so we can see these all elements nowadays in movies and stories. So you just imagine that Aristotle's point of view on a poetry or a tragedy or plot, whatever we can call it. So anagnorisis, recognition, some discovery or some kind of identification or recognition, whatever you can call. Yes, here are some examples, and we have many movies in connection with these terms. Anagnorisis means discovery of some, something or some innate talent or kind of, some hidden secrets or something, in that will change a person's life, right? We can see many characters in different movies. Anagnorisis. So the next term, mythos, usually translated as plot, but unlike plot, mythos can be applied to all works of art. Not so much a matter of what happens in what order. Mythos deals with how the elements of tragedy or a painting, sculpture come together to form a coherent and unified whole. The overall message or impression that we come away with is what is conveyed to us by mythos of a piece. Next term is catharsis. This word was normally used in an ancient Greece by doctors to mean purgation, or by priests to mean purification. Okay, catharsis means purgation or purification. In tragedy, Aristotle uses it to talk about a purgation or purification of emotions. Presumably, this means that catharsis is a release of built up emotional energy, much like a good cry. Purification, catharsis, purification or purgation. Next one is peripecia, a reversal either from good to bad or bad to good. A reversal of peripecia. Peripecia often occurs at the climax of a story, often prompted by anagnorisis. So we discussed what is anagnorisis. So peripecia is actually a reversal either from a good to bad or bad to good. All right, and the climax of a story, the turning point in the action where things begin to move toward a conclusion. Climax, what is climax? The turning point of a story. Lucis. Lucis literally meaning untying. The lucis is all the action in a tragedy from the climax onwards. All the plot threads that have been woven together in the decis are slowly unraveled until the conclusion. Decis, literally tying. The decis is all the action in a tragedy leading up to the climax. threads craftily woven together to form a more and more complex mess. Disease.